high in the eastern Himalayas, between two of the world's largest countries, sits Bhutan, a small kingdom with an outsized reputation. It is landlocked, mountainous, and home to just over 800,000 people, making it one of the least populated countries in South Asia. To the north and northwest is China, through Tibet. To the south and southeast is India, the country with which Bhutan has its closest and most important relationship. On a map, Bhutan can look like a narrow strip of rugged land tucked into the mountains. But its geography has shaped far more than its borders. It has influenced its politics, religion, economy, culture, and even the way the country presents itself to the world. Bhutan's landscape changes dramatically over a short distance. In the south, the land descends into warmer subtropical plains and foothills, rich with forests and wildlife. Moving north, the terrain rises quickly into deep valleys, high passes, and snow-covered peaks. In the Bhutanese Himalayas, several mountains rise above 7,000 meters. The highest is Gangkhar-Puensum, a mountain famous not just for its height, but because it is widely considered the highest unclimbed mountain in the world. Bhutan has restricted mountaineering on many sacred peaks, reflecting a worldview in which mountains are not merely physical obstacles or tourist destinations, but places with spiritual meaning. That combination of altitude, isolation, and forest cover has helped make Bhutan one of the most biologically diverse countries in the region. Its wildlife includes animals that are closely associated with the Himalayas, such as the takin, Bhutan's national animal, as well as the golden langur, a rare primate found in parts of Bhutan and northeastern India. Conservation is not an afterthought in Bhutan's national identity. Large areas of the country are protected, and forests play a central role in the country's environmental strategy. In an era when many developing countries have been pushed to choose between growth and preservation, Bhutan has tried to frame nature as part of national wealth, not an obstacle to it. The capital and largest city is Thimphu, where close to 15% of the population lives. Compared with megacities elsewhere in Asia, Thimphu is small, but it is the political and administrative heart of the country. It is where the modern Bhutanese state is most visible: ministries, parliament, royal institutions, schools, businesses, and expanding urban life. Yet even in the capital, Bhutan's distinct cultural style remains prominent, from traditional architecture to public symbols of Buddhism and monarchy. Thimphu captures one of Bhutan's central tensions: how to modernize without becoming culturally unrecognizable, and how to build institutions that serve citizens while preserving a strong sense of national identity. Religion is central to understanding Bhutan. The state religion is Vajrayana Buddhism, and the Je Khenpo serves as the head of the religious establishment. Buddhism reached Bhutan through historical connections with Tibet and the wider Buddhist world of South Asia. In the first millennium, Vajrayana Buddhism spread into the region from the Pala Empire of Bengal, linking Bhutan to a much broader network of monasteries, teachers, and religious ideas. Over time, Buddhist institutions shaped art, education, law, politics, and daily life. Monasteries were not only spiritual centers, they were also places where authority, learning, and community life were organized in a challenging mountain environment. A key figure in Bhutanese history is Zabdrung Ngawang Namgyal, a 17th-century religious and political leader who unified many of Bhutan's valleys into a single state. Before his rise, the region was divided among local powers and rival religious schools. Namgyal defeated Tibetan invasions, subdued internal rivals, and created a system that combined theocratic and civil administration. He also codified a legal framework known as the Tsa Yig. His successors, known as Zabdrung Rinpoches, remained important spiritual figures, somewhat comparable in role and symbolism to the Dalai Lama in Tibet. This period gave Bhutan a more coherent political identity and helped distinguish it from surrounding powers. Unlike many countries in South Asia, Bhutan was never formally colonized by a European empire. But that does not mean it was untouched by imperial politics. In the 19th century, conflict with British India led to the Duar War, after which Bhutan ceded the Bengal Duars, a region of strategic and economic importance. Later, British influence increased, especially in foreign affairs. In 1910, the Treaty of Punakha confirmed that Bhutan would accept British advice on external relations while retaining internal autonomy. This arrangement allowed Bhutan to avoid direct colonial rule, but it also placed the kingdom within the strategic orbit of British power in the subcontinent. The modern monarchy emerged under the Wangchuck dynasty, which became central to Bhutan's political stability. After India gained independence, Bhutan's external relationship shifted from Britain to India. In 1949, the two countries signed a treaty at Darjeeling recognizing each other's sovereignty while continuing a close partnership. Over time, this relationship became the foundation of Bhutan's security and economic strategy. Bhutan maintains its own military units, but it has long depended heavily on India for defense support, trade access, development assistance, and regional connectivity. For a small country between India and China, foreign policy is not abstract diplomacy, it is a matter of survival and careful balance. Bhutan's political system changed dramatically in the 21st century. In 2008, the country adopted a constitution that established a democratic parliamentary system while preserving the monarchy. Today, Bhutan is a democratic constitutional monarchy. The king is the head of state, and the prime minister is the head of government. The system includes an elected National Assembly and a National Council. What makes this transition unusual is that democratization was encouraged from the top, with the monarchy helping guide the shift toward elected government. Rather than emerging from revolution or colonial collapse, Bhutan's democracy developed through gradual reform, royal initiative, and institutional planning. Bhutan joined the United Nations in 1971, marking a major step in its international recognition. Today it has diplomatic relations with dozens of countries, though it remains selective compared with many states of similar age. Bhutan is also a founding member of the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, known as SARC, and participates in organizations such as BIMSTEC, the Non-Aligned Movement, the IMF, the World Bank, UNESCO, and the World Health Organization. These memberships show Bhutan's desire to engage globally while maintaining independence. It is not a country that seeks great power status, but it does seek a voice in issues that affect small, vulnerable, and mountainous states. Internationally, Bhutan is often associated with the idea of measuring progress beyond money. While the source article highlights rankings in peace, corruption, economic freedom, and human development, Bhutan's broader reputation is tied to the philosophy of gross national happiness. This approach does not mean Bhutan ignores economic growth. Instead, it argues that development should consider well-being, culture, environment, and good governance. In practice, Bhutan still faces the same pressures many small countries face: youth employment, urban migration, dependence on a larger neighbor, limited industrial capacity, and the challenge of creating opportunity without sacrificing identity. Its development model is admired, but it is not simple or effortless. One of Bhutan's greatest economic assets is water. The country has large hydropower potential, thanks to its steep rivers and mountain terrain. Hydropower exports, especially to India, are a major pillar of the economy and a key source of revenue. But water is also part of Bhutan's biggest long-term risk. Climate change is melting Himalayan glaciers, raising the danger of floods, unstable water flows, and damage to communities downstream. For Bhutan, environmental change is not a distant theory, it is a direct threat to infrastructure, livelihoods, and national planning. The same mountains that protect and define the country also make it vulnerable to a warming planet. Bhutan's story is compelling because it does not fit the usual templates. It is not a global military power, not a giant economy, and not a densely populated regional hub. Yet it has preserved sovereignty in a difficult neighborhood, built a distinct national identity around Buddhism and monarchy, transitioned into constitutional democracy, and made environmental protection part of its global image. Its future will depend on how well it manages modernization, climate threats, economic dependence, and the expectations of a younger population. Bhutan is small on the map, but its choices raise a large question: What should a country protect while it grows? If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.